Hey, I'm Matt Hudgens, and he's Dave Mulvaney, and this is Profitability MD. Dave, how you doing today, buddy?
Doing great, Matt. How are you?
Life is good, my friend. Looking good. You got another tropical storm, probably your second or third, coming through Florida.
Sooner or later. It'll be through Thursday or Friday. I think up here it's going to come through. It's a hurricane now hitting somewhere down near Tampa. So, yeah.
Okay, didn't realize that. That's a lot of rain.
Such is life.
Such is life. I read something. Anyway.
Better than snow, right? So
better than snow. That's why you live in Florida, my friend. That's exactly right. All right, episode 99, Profit Accelerators for your business. Profit Accelerators for your business, 99. So that's 99. That's pretty good. We're almost at 100. That's
almost
at
a
100.
Good
number of episodes.
Next week is 100 before Thanksgiving. That's good.
That's pretty good. All right, so we've talked about this stuff before. We talked about, I got a book, you've got a book, 5 profit accelerators for your business, right? We talked about this many times. Got to get more leads, so you got to get more at-bats, more opportunities. You got to get, number 2, be more conversions. So once you get in front of somebody, can you close the business, right? Number 3 would be transactions. Can you do more business with your existing clients? Can you get them to buy more product? It's like a ticket item, right? Number 4 would be pricing. So pricing isn't just, move your prices up or down. It's also bundling and value added. We had a whole episode on value added. And then number 5 is profit, which is kind of margins and costs and investments, so it's not always about cutting your costs, but what would be a good investment to help increase your profits because it might free up your time to make more sales. So those are our 5 profit accelerators. But really, we have this whole thing that we have called a profit acceleration session, right, that we do with clients. And the profit acceleration session really is 40 plus actual tactics or accelerators. It's 40 plus accelerators that we would go through. And we would take you through those lists, right? And we take you through those and we ask 3 basic questions. Actually, I guess it's 4 basic questions. Do we have reasonable control of this, right? We're looking for more leads and more transactions and more conversions. Do we have control over this and costs and pricing, right? Can we measure it? So everything that gets measured gets done, right?
Yeah.
Weekly or monthly, we want to keep track. We've done a whole episode on know your numbers, right? You need to know your numbers. Absolutely. Everything from acquisition costs to what are your profit margins to, you got to know your numbers, your key drivers. And then to which direction do we need this number to move in, up or down? That's number 3. And number 4 would be, how, what specific tactics, how can we improve this number? How do we improve this number, right? That's the tactics that we're going to have.
Yes.
And so I just want to, we talk about this as a generality and some specific examples.
Do we want to go into like what reasonable control means? I mean, because, some people are like, it's going to be a question. If I was watching this episode or listening to it, I'd be like, okay, what's reasonable control? What does that mean?
All right, that's perfect. So where do you and I usually start? We usually start with a target market.
Target market,
right?
Of course.
So that would be something that do you have a target market? And most people say, anybody with a pulse, right? And so we always talk about, one target market at a time. So
yeah, sell to everyone you sell to. I just got off a marketing call with my team, and we had 3 marketing ideas, and I said, okay, 3 marketing ideas are great. Which one are we going to go with? Which one do we have reasonable control over a target? Because if you're, what's the old expression? If you sell to everybody, you'll sell to nobody. So
yes, exactly right.
Got to narrow that focus.
Yeah.
But reasonable control, I think, would also mean it's for instance, I'm going to use like Budweiser as an example. Well, Budweiser advertises like crazy. Now, do they have reasonable control over the people that see their message? Probably not, like you'd imagine. Like if they put their big logo on a stadium, everybody's going to see the message. But do they have any reasonable control over how to get them into their funnel? It's not a direct response type atmosphere. So I think that's partially not reasonable control. So that's not really good for the small business owner. You don't have the Budweiser budget. You gotta have things that you can control so that you can determine your, of course it comes in here, but determine your cost per acquisition. I think that's critical.
So we would say, so you got to have a target market. We always say pick one target market at a time. we build out that platform, and then we could go to your next target market, right? So you could say, I had a call with one of the guys yesterday. His target market is small to mid-sized law firms that are growing, meaning they're adding partners and paralegals, or a lot of times you'll see small law firms join together. Okay? So that'd be a target market. You're looking for law firms that do business to business. By the way, there are law firms that are estate planning, elderly care, personal injury. We're talking about business to business. So they represent other businesses that are getting sued, or contract disputes, or contract law, where they're putting together those contracts, or acquisition. So those are business to business lawyers. So even more specific, business to business lawyers are who we're looking for. Okay. Then we'd say marketing message. Do you have control over the marketing message? And you would always talk about, what are their hot buttons? How do you add value? What problem are you solving for them? We want to come up with such a good marketing message that it's a no-brainer for them to do business with.
Yeah,
Right?
you really got to tell them how their life is going to be better with your product or service, whatever that's how is your life going to improve. The marketing message really has to be centered around that. And certainly the problem you're solving for them. So
yeah, and we've done several episodes on marketing message and how that matters, and make sure you're targeting the right market and delivering the right message to those people, right? So it's going to be, can we come up with hot buttons for lawyers, for B2B lawyers? Let's just use that as an example as we go through here, right? Then we go into
So when you say hot buttons for lawyers, what specialty? Don't we want to get into what their specialty is?
Well, I would go even, so yes and no, so I don't want to get too much into this thing, but it would be like, so it's a growing law firm, and what are some of the problems you're going to have as a growing law firm? You got to bring on new partners. You're combining law firms. You got to bring on junior lawyers. You got to bring on paralegals. So now you got staff and training. It used to be like a one-man shop. Investment advisors do the same thing. Insurance agents, it used to be a one-man shop, and now they had to have a junior advisor and an assistant and a paraplanner and client service executive, right? Same thing with law firms. You're going to have who's going to take the onboarding. So used to be this one-man shop with an assistant, and now all of a sudden you're 2 or 3 partners, and you got 2 or 3 juniors, and you got 2. So there are all kinds of issues, let's call it.
Yeah, the issues. Pains. I would say one of the issues is that in that type of firm, you're one of the attorneys. You're limited by the amount of hours that you can spend with any one client. So you've got to get really good at delegating some of your responsibilities that can be delegated. That means I would think turning a lot of, what would you call it? Like turning your documents, many of them, into forms, because a lot of what an attorney does is going to be, a lot of it's repetitive. There's going to be sections of an agreement that are going to be very unique to every client, but there's going to be sections of it that are boilerplate is the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
And so a lot of
we're getting into, wait, you're getting into too much detail, right? Because we want to stick to, we would talk about the problems would be growing pains. So that would be the problem you're solving in the growing pains. We're not solving the problem yet. We're just identifying the problem. So you're heading in the right direction. So the problem would be growing pains, or not enough time in the day, or now I got to manage people and do billable hours, right? Those are your problems, your hot buttons, right? And so then we say, what else might be a problem? You talk about, the 5 profit activators, right? The accelerators, leads. Are they generating enough leads to have enough business, right? So the best problem would be the law firm has so many business opportunities that they need junior lawyers. But you have law firms that are chicken and the egg, right? I actually took a consultant, different business, but he's like, I need more people because I want to take on more clients, but I don't have the clients to hire the people to pay for it. Right.
That's the chicken and the egg for sure.
Yeah, the chicken and the egg. So is the better strategy to pony up the money now to hire the 1 or 2 staff people, or is it no? Let's fire up the marketing, and then we'll get the marketing going, and we'll just stagger the hey, I can't start the project until November 1st, or I'm sorry, we're in November, till December 1st, which gives you a month to go find the person, or bring them off the bench. You've already identified the person. Now you just chicken and the egg. Do I want to get more leads first, or I want to hire the people first, right? But that would be, are we generating leads? How do we generate leads, right? Are they getting a lot? So generate leads can go into a bunch of different things here. I'm going to go over here.
And just, and this, the chicken and the egg can also force someone like that to look at their profit margin, because if they can't hire because they're doing the chicken and egg thing, I don't have the extra business. Well, that might force you to say my pricing is probably too low because these are the things you got to look at.
But you're going out of order. You got to go in order, right? Got to go in order. We got the 5 leads. So we'd say
that's
leads.
the OCD party. You got to go in order.
I know it is, but that's perfect because what's going to happen is we might have identified those 3 to 8 key drivers quickly by saying, hey, it's pricing for you, and that's what you need to go to.
Yeah.
But we kind of go through, so you can say leads, how to generate leads, alliance and joint ventures. Those could be good ways to generate leads. Digital marketing strategy, referral systems, publicity, PR, direct mail, advertising, right? These could all be ways to generate leads. However, it has to go back to your marketing message and your target market, right? That's what we talk about a strategy. A strategy is who's our target market and what's the message, what are the problems we're trying to solve, and then deciding if we're using digital marketing or PR or direct mail or advertising. That's just the vehicle we're using to deliver that marketing message, right? Yeah. Right? We go into more conversion. So what's a compelling offer? You and I always talk about compelling offers, irresistible offers. Can we make it a no risk reversal is another word for that. Can we make it a no-brainer for them to do free trials? Remember we did a whole thing on free trials and value bonuses, or free for a month, and then you're doing free thing, just pay for shipping, right? For the dog food, right? And so is that a compelling offer? Can we do a drip campaign? You know, Joe Polish and Dean Jackson have talked about, consumer guides, right? Then you do a drip campaign based around how to choose a roofer, how to choose a kitchen remodeler, before and after kitchen remodelers, ideas for your, idea generation for your kitchen remodel, right? That would be part of a drip campaign. Scripts, do you need scripts and how you follow the scripts? Close rates, follow-up close rates, reactivation of former customers. We've talked about that before.
And that's a big one. I think reactivation, a lot of people skip often. Well, they don't need anything now. And then so we talk about joint ventures, which could be reactivation campaigns with joint ventures can be a great way to generate revenue.
No, you're exactly right. We talked about this before, so and then we'll start getting to more specific examples. Increase the number of transactions, which means, to get your existing clients to buy more from you, right? Is that more from you each time or more from you over time, right? And so we did a whole thing on value-added bonuses and, the roofer, now you're going to do a referral for the painter, right? We talked about the mortgage broker could generate more business by your insurance guy. We used your insurance guy as an example a couple of weeks ago. He knows everybody. He can generate business by joint ventures or referral relationships or just knowing the right person and generate increased number of transactions because they're coming back to you more often.
Correct.
So then we can get some examples. So we would say we just went through a litany. That's probably 10 or 20 of them already, right?
These are all geared around really profit accelerators. Of course, I want to always start with profit because I always think when I look at a business, you want to work your business backwards. Like, what does it look like at the end? And so you got to think about profit. But then when you're breaking this down, these are the ways you break it down. How am I going to get there? How am I going to get there? What are the tactics going to get me there?
Right.
And
right.
Don't we have like 40 in the profit accelerating?
Yeah. It's like 40 plus. You're exactly right. And we've also got a whole thing on, fix your cash flow leaks quickly, which is exactly, you could start off and say, hey, look, let's just, plug the cash flow leaks right now. We're bleeding cash. Let's go in here and fix that right off the bat, right? So we could start over there, right? My point being is you're going to have these categories, these 40 plus categories. We're going to go through some of them, all of them, a piece of them, but then you're going to identify, the goal is to say, can we improve those by 3%, 5%, 20%, right? And that's where you come into what we call, so we just did this. I just did this for one of my businesses earlier in the week. Actually, I've done 2 this week. And so one of them was, I won't mention the specific business, but they're in the manufacturing business, for lack of a better term. And we go through these, we identify for them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. We're trying to improve them. We think comfortably 5 to 7%. Maybe one of them we got a 10% improvement, right? What does that lead to? That turns out the company is sitting on $675,000 of profit acceleration opportunity. So there's $675,000 of opportunity, profit opportunity, just sitting there inside your existing business, right? By going through these and identifying them, right? Which is basically doubling of his profits, right? He's making profit 600 and some 50. Now we're talking about another 675 on top of that. Literally
And if,
doubling
yeah,
the
so
profits.
let's just say your 675,000 is, let's just say it's 20% profit margin. Well, if you double that, um, you've increased your profit by 100%. And
Yes.
that's straight bottom line money. Now we say straight bottom line money. It may cost some money to get there. I mean, usually,
Well,
you
that
know,
comes out with a profit number, so that's already baked in there. That's
yeah,
already
I
baked
mean,
in
I
there.
just,
So that's net of all of any kind of expenses. But generally, it's just doing. Remember, we did this one before. It worked so well, I quit doing it. So a
yeah,
lot of these are work so well, I quit doing it type strategies. A lot of these are, gosh, I never even thought about bundling. I never even thought about a joint venture. I never even thought about, the mortgage broker and the painter. I never even thought the painter go to the mortgage broker. Now he's got a whole pipeline, right? We've used that example several times. So when you come through this and you go through our system, profit acceleration session, right? This is the kind of stuff we do in our mastermind group. You're starting to, now what do you got? You're starting to put together the business plan, the picture, right?
yeah.
Hey, we got a target market. Now we got a marketing message. So now as I was on a call earlier this week. Clarity breeds confidence. Clarity. If you are clear who's your target market and who's your marketing message, and that marketing message is clear in everybody in your business. They all know the one-liner. I've got a new one-liner now where I'm saying we're going to increase your net worth and lower your handicap. I'm a golfer, so the golfers would get that. But it could be, increase your net worth and increase your fishing time. If you're a fisherman or something like that, right? But the point is, increase net worth and have more free time to do the stuff that you want, right? That would be kind of your marketing message, your tagline, and if you can have that message that's hitting the hot buttons that can be easily delivered by everybody in the company, because that's not how it is right now. Now you have clarity. This is what we do, and this is the benefit of it, and here's how we do it. Right now, clarity brings confidence. Now we're confident that this is what we do. This is how we're doing it. We are, what do we talk about? I've talked about with dentists before. You could be the Lexus dealership of dentistry or the Jiffy Lube. Remember we've used that example before?
Yeah.
What do you want to be? Well, I want to be the Lexus. I want to be the nice experience when I go to the dentist. I don't want to be the Jiffy Lube. I've used that example where you go get your oil change and the seat's all sticky in the, right? Because that's why I take my daughter's car.
We're not saying that that all seats at all Jiffy Lubes are sticky. We're not applying that.
No, just use that as a,
as an example.
As an example, there's your tagline. Not your tagline, but it can be your driving motivations. We want to be the Lexus of dentistry, the Lexus of HVAC, right? And then you can articulate that in the marketing message.
And if you are that, if you are that, you've got to represent that, though. I mean, I've people say I'm the Mercedes of, but yet their service is more like the Kia of.
Absolutely, and you got to deliver, right? That's all our part. We've all dealt with good, honest business people, and you want to deliver the great goods. So if you go through and you identify the profit accelerators, that'll be, we talk about the 80-20 rule, the 3, 5, 8 of them that'll really make the biggest difference. And you tackle those in order of importance to have the quickest.
And not all at one time.
Not all at one time. Quickest, one at a time, in order. Well, some of these overlap, but like target market, marketing message, but then that leads into your advertising or might lead into your direct marketing, might lead into your joint venture opportunity. Because now you know what you're telling your joint venture partners. Here's the benefit that I provide to my clients. Here's why we should work together, because you and I are looking to provide similar type experiences to, customers, right? And so, I did another one, the guy, go back to the lawyer example, right? So he's looking for business to business lawyers, right? So he needs target market. We got it. Marketing message. What's the value he adds? What's the problem he solves? What's the hot buttons that are addressing? Okay, once you do that, how are you going to generate more leads, right? You can generate more leads by having, a white paper, speaking engagements, a podcast, a webinar, right? Content marketing.
Ads, letters. I mean, there's so many things that you can do, but ultimately narrowing it down and picking some is how you go through the brainstorming activity, of course.
Is how you go through to put together your strategy, but you have the clarity on, I'm going after the lawyers, B2B lawyers, and let's say, like I said, maybe it's B2B lawyers who deal with insurance companies. They represent insurance companies, just using that as an example. And boom, 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 employment lawyers. I'm going after employment lawyers that are growing employment law firms, right? Blah, 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 blah. And you go through those. On Facebook, specific.
You're breaking up.
Lawyer. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
you said personal injury lawyers.
Yeah,
There's a
personal
lot of
injury
those.
lawyers. I saw, but it was a Facebook ad for wealth building for personal injury lawyers, right? So
Interesting.
that was so unique. I actually have personal injury lawyers as my clients, my coaching clients and my wealth clients. I've never run an ad that specific. I was like, man, talk about a target market.
It's pretty specific.
Pretty specific.
And there's, I mean, then you could get even more specific, say in 25 million a year in sales or under.
Exactly right. Exactly. And what's the clarity of that? Then the clarity is that's all he's looking for. Personal injury lawyers, and I can use a LinkedIn strategy. I can use a Yellow Pages strategy. I'm just personal injury associations. Usually the bar association has a subgroup of personal injury. Like you could go boom, 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 very specific. And if you got what are the 3 things that you do, problem you solve for the personal injury lawyers, boom. And then we talked about one at a time, because then you could probably take those same things and take, for medical malpractice lawyers, right? And now you just change the title, but it's the same, the personal wealth building for insurance lawyers, defense lawyers or whatever. And now you can, same message, just a different title, but you're going after a specific market, delivering the same message.
And you're going to have a different target, like a criminal defense lawyer is probably not going to have the kind of money that the personal injury lawyer is going to have. So the problems that each of those deal with are different. So your marketing message is going to be different.
Slightly tweaked, right,
yeah,
right. And what our example is, these 40 profit accelerators are in everybody's business, right? So they're in everybody's business, whether you are a lawyer, whether you are a plumber, whether you are a manufacturer, a lighting guy, right? That's the cool part. So even your marketing message, once you identify it, a lot of those core messages will apply to several of your target markets, and you're almost just changing the title, right?
Yes.
Profit accelerators for dentists, profit accelerators for lawyers, profit accelerators for, landscapers, right?
Right.
But you would just go after the landscaper market with your profit accelerators and use some specific language involved with them. So it's just, I don't know, I got really excited about this because the profit accelerators, we got this whole profit acceleration session that we do for guys in our mastermind group, and you're starting to narrow in on, gosh, you've got this $675,000 of profit opportunity just sitting there in your business that you didn't know or realize or work so well I quit doing it.
And I want to bring up something that I think is important, is that I think you mentioned landscapers, and the reason I want to pause on that is because there are landscapers out there who you probably just said $675,000 increase in profit, and there's if you're a landscaper and you're watching this, there's probably a pretty good chance that you say, that's not for landscapers, $675,000. There is a landscaping company in Jacksonville right now for sale for $8.4 million. So don't tell me that you as a landscaper can't grow a massive company with the right profit accelerators. It doesn't matter what business you're in. You can look around and there's somebody in your industry has grown this massive company. How do you think they did it? They applied, maybe not all 40 of these, but they are applying these one at a time, increasing their profitability consistently over time, acquiring more customers, going back, talking to the existing customers, and they keep growing it. So don't question whether or not your business is capable of growing $675,000. The question is, can you grow your profit 100%? That answer is yes, if you got the right influences and you're around the right group of people and you have the right guidance, I guess it would be.
Right. Well, you just sparked one of my, so here 2 different clients I had going back a couple of years, and it's IT. So IT, I handle IT, right? One of which, and you tell me, and I'm interesting, right? So one of which is IT for, let's just say it's for law firms, right? And they got another IT guy who specializes in dental practices. So just for example, these aren't, anyway. And so one guy, the law practice was, I'm going to go after all the law practices in my city. Boom, 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 boom. And that's what I'm going for. And I'm going to maximize my impact for law firms here in this city, right?
Mm-hmm.
The other guy was, all right, IT for a dentist, and I'm going to go, I'm in Atlanta. I'm going to go in Atlanta. I'm going to go in Jacksonville. I'm going to go in Alabama, Birmingham and Montgomery, and I'm going to Chattanooga, right? Which one, that's a trick question, which one had higher profits quicker, faster?
Well, it's hard to say.
It isn't hard to say. No.
I mean, I would think the one who's
simple.
going for the bigger audience.
No.
But if it, but
In Atlanta, your law firms in Atlanta, I got my one office, boom, boom, boom. What happens if you're in Jacksonville and Alabama and Tennessee and South Carolina and Charlotte? 5 different offices, right? Maximize the one thing you got. The Atlanta office going after the law firms, boom, 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 boom. And then what do? Then we moved it over to medical practices. Boom,
well,
boom,
I didn't
boom,
know
boom,
that
boom.
it was you needed to have an office there to, I mean, I think of,
Well, you
I
got
work,
people to go in to do the IT work, right? And so my point being is that there are two of the similar companies with 2 different strategies, one of which is more effective for quicker, faster profits, right?
again, looking at the bottom line first,
boom,
how
boom,
am I
boom,
going to
boom.
make the most of what's the biggest bang for the buck with the lowest cost?
I just had this conversation with a dental practice. One of my dentist clients, I think it was last week, a week and a half ago. Same thing. Very nice dental practice, great revenue. And the question comes up, well, should we open a second office, right? Should we open a second office or keep just one? And so we go through this exercise, profit acceleration session, and say, what potential is there in this one office versus starting a whole nother office? You got to get more real estate. You got to build it out. You got to have an office manager. Now you're going between 2 offices that you got to run. And it turns out there was about a 50%, the profit opportunity sitting here in the existing business. So we can improve your profit by 50% just by using some of these profit accelerators, right? These are toolbox, and just maximize this one office first, and then we can decide if we want to open the second office. Right? So that's a whole investment philosophy just in general, which is maximize what you got first, then we'll talk about the next office. Oh, yeah. Right?
And this is the very, I guess I'd say this is where the adage comes in. It's not how much you make that matters, it's how much you keep.
Yes. Yeah, exactly right. Right.
If you start looking at, I'm going to, how am I going to grow? I need to grow another office. Well, that's where like what you're just saying. No, maybe, well, not no, you have to, each business is,
you got to run the analysis, right?
But you run the analysis and you go, look, you can grow your profits by this much in your existing business. And a lot of people go, I didn't even see that was possible. That we could do that under my existing roof, or I could do that under, it depends on the type of business you are. Like a lot of businesses can grow globally without ever growing other offices. If you're software related, software as a service or something like that. But yeah, like if you have to have people there, those costs have to be calculated. And all it boils down to is not how much gross, it's how much you net. That's the thing.
How much you keep. And that's what we always talk about, right? I want you to make more, keep more, pay less in taxes, take more time off. So make more, keep more, take more time off, right? I got a builder friend I got a builder friend and builds houses. Builds cabinets now, right? Well, I'm already building the house and now I can build the cabinets. I was farming that out to somebody else. I could keep that profit margin myself. That's a way to increase his profits, or he could have built more houses, right? What else could the builder do? Well, he could add, I'm doing renovation projects, or I'm doing, I don't know, you can add on your services. It goes back to more transaction with existing clients. We talked about value-added bonuses. We talked about the shutter relationship. You can have a referral for the shutter. We don't do the shutters, but when I'm done, you'll have a brand new house, and I know a shutter lady. It'll help you.
It's funny you say that right next door to me here in my office park, the people who moved in next door, he works for a commercial builder, and he builds commercial cabinets. All the different types of cabinets you'd have in a big commercial office, with the Formica on it and all these different things. And I think it's Formica, but now it's all these different things. That's what they do right next door. He works for a commercial builder, and the builder said, hey, how can I increase?
Yes.
I'm going to build cabinets. So rather than, he was probably had a referring agent he was sending business to for a long time. Then he said, hey, maybe I can do this myself in-house. So
right, exactly. I was talking to a builder last week, and he does commercial buildings and residential, right? And let's just look at his business. He's in a different state. And what is more profitable? What is easier for you to get more of? And for us, we're talking about design build. So instead of you just bidding on a contract to do the construction, maybe there's an opportunity for commercial design and build, because we can actually design your building. And then if we're the guys that design it, we can build it, and you're not as price sensitive because you kind of trust us because we help design the building and know all the inner workings, right? So then they're not as sensitive, right? Because they know, like, and trust you.
Yeah, precisely.
As opposed to let's go get more residential. I know we got on tangents. So All right, so profit accelerator. So basically, if you'd like this kind of win for your business, we're talking about, profit accelerators for your business. We talked about our five main drivers, but we've got a toolbox of 40 plus accelerators that you go through. 3 main questions. Do you have reasonable control? Can we measure it on a weekly or monthly basis? Which direction do we want these numbers to go in, and how can we get it done?
How can we get it done?
Yeah, we talked about identifying those key drivers, right? You might find 3 of them, 5 of them, 8 of them, and trying to improve them 5%, 20%. That leads up, the example I was using, a company was sitting on $675,000 of profit opportunity, right? That they didn't even know they had, which is basically doubling the profits for them. So if you like that kind of win, let us know. We can show you how. This is what we do. This is what we do in our mastermind group. This is what we do in our profit acceleration session, where we kind of go through this with you and show you what it's like. So if you're interested in that, we're profitabilitymd.com. Matt at ProfitabilityMD, Dave at ProfitabilityMD. We got a podcast, Profitability MD, anywhere you get your podcast. But you're looking for a mastermind group where you can grow your profit accelerators, right? You're looking for a profit acceleration session where you can sit here and, what is the roadmap?
Yeah.
What does a roadmap look like? That's what we do, right? And it's measurable, and
that's it.
doable.
So look, if you're interested in the mastermind program, reach out to Matt or I. Like you said, Matt at profitabilitymd.com, Dave at profitabilitymd.com. We'll interview you, and you will interview us. And if we're a match for you, then we'll work with you on these profit accelerators, and so that your business can grow exponentially in the next 12 months. And I can tell you this about our mastermind group: it won't cost you a dime. Why do I say it won't cost you a dime? Because if you're in there, you're gonna make 10 times what it costs you in profits. That's why we're selective, because we don't want to take on somebody who's not going to grow substantially. So we are selective, but at the same time, if you are accepted into there, you're going to have substantial growth, and it's going to change your business. It's going to change the way your outlook in terms of your time off. You'll pay less tax, and you'll have a lot of.
It's literally transformational, right? No reason you can't have the business that you deserve, right? It literally is transformational. There's no reason that these guys can't have the businesses that they deserve, right? All right, this was a good one, man. I appreciate this. This is fun stuff.
Next one is episode 100.
100. All right.
See you next week, Mac.
See you, Mike.